to school are three words that most kiddos do not like to hear. And kids nowadays are dealing with worries that were unheard of when we were growing up. Will other kids be nice to me? I feel stress about fitting in. And am I the next victim of a school shooting? Well, these are all valid concerns. And as parents, we need to talk to our children and understand what it's like to go to school in 2023. Well, Sangeeta Singh, school psychologist, is at the forefront of these issues all the time. And she is also a mom. Sangeeta.
Hi.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm good.
It's good to be here.
It's good to be here. It's good to have you. So
Thank
many
you.
parents are concerned with the new school year.
Yep.
A lot happened last year that there's a lot of concern, but with this, what are the more common concerns you hear?
I'll start with kids first, right?
Okay.
I mean, the most common concerns I hear from kiddos are my friends going to be in my class? Who's going to be my teacher? I'm moving on in the next grade. Is the curriculum going to be really difficult? So those are some of the common things. And then with parents, it's more of how do I transition my kiddo from this, relaxed lifestyle in the summer where they're on their devices and they're swimming and hanging out with friends to a more structured school routine.
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of where I am too, because both my girls are going to bed really late.
Yep.
They're eating whatever they want at all times of the day. They're not reading as much as I would like for them to. So that's going to be challenging in my household for sure. Now, in your experience, what are the biggest challenges for the kiddos when they are going into a new school year? Now, as you know, my girls both going to a new school in August, or this new school year. We are already there, but what do you think would be their biggest challenges?
I think the biggest challenges, at least at the beginning of the school year, is motivation and being able to give up the sort of, relaxing summer to now I have to be in this really structured environment. And that's why it's really important for us as parents to help our kiddos get into this routine before school starts, a couple of weeks before.
Okay.
I mean, we got to give up the devices a little bit. We have to structure our day and really thinking about what is the new school routine going to be and adjusting bedtimes. And I think it's also really important to think about some of the expectations that they had in previous years and what worked and what didn't. So sitting down with your kids and saying like, hey, so last year we had this expectation where you had to do your homework within an hour after getting home, and that didn't really work out well. So how can we readjust that so that we're all on the same page about our expectations during the school year too? And I think that really helps kids get in line and everybody to be on the same page with their parents.
Yes, so talk to your children, establish maybe new rules, new calendars, new ways that we can all work together and that function, but talking to them and involving them. What about confidence? This was a big one for me when we first moved to Denver, particularly with my older one. She really struggled to fit in, and I know that really took a toll on her, and she was in those teen years as well, but how can we help them with that?
I think one of the important things is just keeping an open dialogue, making time every single day to sit down with your kiddos and just have a conversation. And I'm at fault for this too. During the school year, we get so busy in our routines where it's work, school, and then after school activities, and we're kind of on autopilot. And we kind of forget like, oh, you know what? I didn't talk to my kids today.
I know.
And so really being thoughtful in spending time, whether it's like we're going to sit down and have dinner together, we're going to go walk the dogs, but just trying hard to be present and having an open dialogue. But I also think it's really important for us as parents to kind of share some of the struggles that we went through when we were in school, so that our kids understand like, hey, you know what, we can relate to what you're going through, and even though it wasn't exactly the same, but we have also had our own individual struggles.
Absolutely.
And I think that especially with confidence in the classroom as far as academically, I think it's really important to kind of even go through, hey, you know what? In second grade, you learned this in reading, writing, and math. Let's review it a little bit. So when you get into the classroom, it's fresh in your mind and you have that confidence to move forward.
Yeah, going in.
Right.
Okay, and that makes perfect sense. Now, another big question is, what signs should we look out for as parents that could indicate our child is struggling?
I mean, I think the most important thing to look for is really their attitude and how they approach school. Whether it's, I don't want to go to school, I hate school, the lack of communication, or maybe they're retreating a little bit, hiding in their rooms, which, typically teens do that. But when you notice a significant change in their personality and their routine.
Okay.
And I think that's really important. And one of the things that is really helpful is starting communication with the teachers right as the school starts, developing that relationship so that if there is an issue, you already have that line of communication open, and it's easy to kind of figure out, all right, what do I need to do to help my kids?
Yes, and that right there is a huge deal. And we ran out of time, Sangeeta, but I did want to point out that one of the biggest differences with my girls was I was very involved with their school, life, and that really helped them. It also helped the teacher understand the girls and what were the areas that they needed to work on, and it went very well. So thank you so much for being with us today. Well, here we are, new school year, everyone. Great advice. Okay, and of course, if you want to learn more about Sangeeta, well, you could just watch her right here on Coco's Mama Mondays.